5 years into our marriage, Logan's carelessness cost me our unborn child and, with it, any chance of ever carrying another. Yet he griped to his buddies that I was broken, and even dreamed up some twisted scheme for me to play happy mommy to a kid that wasn't mine. When I asked for a divorce, he tried to flip the script, smearing me with rumors that I'd been the one cheating. What he doesn't know is that I've already compiled a 200-page PDF ready to bury him. Before we go on, hit subscribe and drop a comment telling us where you're tuning in from. I wrinkled my nose and forced down the last mouthful of bitter traditional herbal remedy. Logan handed me the glass of water he'd set out earlier, holding the trash can in one hand while he rubbed slow circles across my back with the other. "Natalie, let it happen naturally," he said. "Whether we have kids or not won't change how I feel about us." I spat the water out, eyes still watering from the tonic's bite, and mumbled, "One more try. I want a child that's ours." Logan and I have been married 5 years. The first chunk of that we poured into Sterling Tech, never seriously trying to conceive. Then, 2 years ago, an accidental pregnancy caught us off guard. Aside from the initial shock, we were both giddy, already picturing a future with this baby. But in the second month, driving home from a partner meeting in San Francisco, Logan ranted about how difficult the client was, splitting his attention between the road and his complaints. He didn't notice the light had turned red. By the time he slammed the brakes, we'd collided with a gravel truck barreling in from the left. The crash ended our first pregnancy, and the doctors told me I'd likely never carry again. Logan's guilt swallowed him whole. After that he said yes to everything I asked, indulged every whim. Over time, though, that guilt curdled, warping the normal rhythm of our marriage. After I was discharged, I couldn't stop wishing the child we'd lost would somehow find her way back to me. I threw myself into fixing my body, acupuncture, herbal cures, every folk fertility potion you can name. Maybe she's angry that I failed to protect her. I thought, maybe she doesn't want me for a mother anymore. I drank blessed water from the local church, even downed a dose of folk remedy brewed with, well, I'd rather not say. Nothing was too outlandish. I dragged Logan to churches so we could light candles and pray to the Virgin Mary to send that baby back to me. Still, month after month, the test strip stayed single-lined. I drowned in self-reproach. I'd walk past the stroller in the hallway, brush my fingers over the folded onesies in the nursery closet, and feel my heart split open all over again. Logan noticed. More than once he pulled me close and said, "Kids or no kids, as long as I have you, that's enough." But I knew how crazy he was about children. At every class reunion he'd spend the night on the floor building Lego castles with someone's 5-year-old, laughing louder than the kids themselves. Friends joked they were ready to pack him in their diaper bag and take him home. I exhaled, looped my arms around his waist, and said, "If this round doesn't take, let's adopt." His breath hitched. The corners of his mouth tightened before he patted my shoulder. "Don't borrow trouble." The next morning he was gone before I woke. On the kitchen island sat breakfast under plastic wrap and a sticky note. "Headed to the office early. Milk's in the fridge. Heat it before you drink it." I peeled the note off, warmed by the scribbled heart he'd drawn. I'd barely lifted the fork when my phone buzzed. "Natalie, you up?" I left my laptop. No time to double back. "Send me the files on the desktop. Top folder. Right side." I sprinted to the study, woke his computer, and airdropped everything he asked for. "Got them," he texted. "Boarding now. Gotta run." Click. "Come home." The line was dead. The 2 words never made it out of my mouth. The abrupt hang-up gnawed at the edges of my good mood. So I traded breakfast for a movie, curling into his desk chair. Halfway through the opening credits a string of pings lit the screen. A WhatsApp window had popped up from one of Logan's college buddies. "Way to go, man. Already sneaking off for private weekends without wifey? When do we meet the new one? Drinks on us." Before I could parse that, Logan replied, "Cut it out. Work trip." Sure. Just the 2 of you. One hotel suite. We get the picture. Wink. "Seriously, this one's been hanging around a while. You actually planning to divorce Natalie? She's a good woman, bro." Even I couldn't misread it anymore. A 2-minute pause. Then Logan's gray bubble slid in. "Won't happen. Natalie and I aren't getting divorced. I just need a kid. She can't give me one. Get it?" I stared until the letters blurred. Was he talking about paid surrogacy? Or something seedier? His friend typed back, "I feel you, but how you gonna explain the baby? Keep it off-site?" Logan answered instantly, "I'll get the papers filed. Natalie already wants to adopt. Perfect cover." The rest scrolled on, but I couldn't read another syllable. I hugged my knees to my chest on the swivel chair. Those 2 sentences on permanent loop inside my skull. Anxious. I gnawed my thumbnail until copper bloomed on my tongue. Only the sting snapped me back. One truth, cold and clear: Logan was cheating. The woman worked at Sterling Tech, and she was pregnant. My sole response was instinct: divorce. I refused to share a bed with betrayal, but screenshots of a chat would never hold up. I needed receipts, timestamps, hard proof. proof. I waited 48 hours. The moment his plane touched down at LAX, I drove to the airport, staying just far enough from the arrival gate to scan every face. Logan appeared alone, scanning the crowd, hoodie pulled low, whoever she was. They'd split before landing. I stepped out of the shadows, arms wide. Tada. Surprise. Panic flashed in his eyes, flicking to a point just left of me. What are you doing here? Here to pick you up. I glanced casually toward the voice. It was a woman, tall silhouette, cap and mask hiding her face. On the drive home, Logan reclined in the passenger seat, eyes shut. I tested the waters. You were the only one on this trip? Oh. Yeah. Small project. Just a renewal. I could handle it solo. He didn't even open his eyes. Well, aren't you the devoted husband? I muttered, forcing a syrupy lilt. Logan sat up and reached over to stroke my hair. Anything for my wife. I batted his hand away. Eyes on the road. There's a security camera up ahead. He withdrew, sulking, and didn't speak again until we pulled into our Beverly Hills driveway. The moment he stepped into the shower, I snatched his phone. I'd never snooped before. A man you have to police is a man who'll cheat the minute your back is turned. Yet here I was, hunting for proof of cheating. I pressed the home button. The lock screen was a photo he'd taken of me, our honeymoon in Hawaii. The beach. A mainland girl who'd rarely seen the ocean. I'd sprinted straight into the surf. Logan had called my name and snapped the shot. Later, when he set it as his wallpaper, I whined that it wasn't flattering. But in this picture you're looking at me, he'd said. The memory stung. I swallowed the ache and tried my fingerprint. To my shock, it unlocked instantly. He hadn't deleted me. For a second, I wondered if I'd imagined everything. The phone was scrubbed clean, WhatsApp chats benign, Amazon and food delivery histories spotless. Still, a woman on the trail of infidelity makes Sherlock Holmes look lazy. On a hunch, I opened his rideshare app. One ride leapt out, our wedding anniversary, 11 p.m. He'd claimed a factory glitch demanded his presence. The destination was an apartment complex in Los Angeles I'd never heard of. I memorized the name. I screenshot every large Venmo transfer and unfamiliar purchase, then slipped the phone back exactly where I'd found it. When the shower shut off, I darted to bed and faked sleep. Logan leaned over to check, then tiptoed to the balcony and dialed. I couldn't catch the words, but baby floated through the glass. Decision made. Tomorrow I'd wire every blind corner of the house with cameras that record audio. After the call, he crept under the covers and tried to spoon me like always. Bile rose in my throat. I pushed his arm away. Eyes slitted. Too hot. Don't. He retreated. We lay back to back. A whole galaxy between us in our king-size bed. I stared at the ceiling, calculating how to walk away with every dollar I was owed. I didn't sleep. At dawn, I caked on concealer to hide the panda circles, tugged on a suit I hadn't worn in a year, and painted my face like war paint. Since the miscarriage, I'd been on hiatus. Then lazy. Logan cooed that he loved coming home to dinner waiting. High on newlywed dopamine, I'd surrendered my career and played housewife. One sleepless night had cured me. Men betray. Cash in corner offices don't. I'd already emailed my lawyer every photo from last night. Asset division isn't my specialty. Professionals exist for a reason. As for Sterling Tech, it's my baby too. I won't abandon it. I breezed past reception. The intern did a double take. President Vance, you're back. I smiled. Afternoon coffee's on me. Spread the word. Cheers erupted down the corridor, easing the knot in my chest. I waved left and right, heading straight for the corner office, only to find someone else in my chair. I checked the plaque twice. Before I could speak, Logan jogged up. Natalie, what a surprise. Vacation's over. I'm bored. I laced the words with faux sweetness. My attorney's orders. Collect evidence before war. Keep him calm. Of course. I just don't want you overworked, he said, all feigned concern. I sailed past him. Excuse me, why are you at my desk? The girl flinched, scrambling up. Chloe, temp assistant. Logan jumped in. Her computer crashed, so she borrowed your space. Well, I'm back. She can relocate. I didn't press further. She nodded and boxed her things. Logan excused himself. Chloe, when you're done, drop by my office. Chloe hugged the carton to her chest and left. I settled in, ready to review the last 2 years of P.L. statements. Yet the moment I slid open the drawer, a Winnie the Pooh keychain winked up at me, identical to one Logan brought me 6 months ago. I lifted it, squinting. Before I could process, Chloe burst back in. Sorry, President Vance. I left something. She pointed at the trinket. I handed it over. Only then did I place her face. I'd seen her selfies before. About 6 months ago, Logan came home from work and said, Babe, you know what? A college girl who interviewed today looks just like you. I wasn't wearing my glasses at first and thought you dropped by. I was busy making dinner, so I didn't think much of it. Really? How alike? Logan pulled out his phone. Look. I snapped a pic from her resume. I glanced at it, didn't see any resemblance. I lifted my gaze and stared at Chloe for a moment, uncomfortable. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Is something wrong, Ms. Vance? Nothing. You can go. I came back to myself. I opened my laptop and called up Sterling Tech's personnel files. Found Chloe's entry, opened it, and cross-checked the details I'd photographed on Logan's phone. The Venmo deposit matched, but the ride-hailing address didn't. A seed of suspicion had been planted. The coincidences were piling up too high to ignore. I collated everything I had on Chloe, emailed it to my lawyer, then forced myself to focus on work. I'd been away so long that half the partnerships felt foreign. I pinched the bridge of my nose, went to the break room for water, and noticed Chloe still hadn't returned to her desk. Logan's office door was shut, blinds drawn. I waved over the protege I'd mentored from day one and pulled him into my office. Ryan closed the door and hovered, hesitant. You needed me, Ms. Vance? Come here and walk me through these projects. I beckoned. The moment he heard that, his shoulders relaxed. He hurried over and briefed me in detail. Time always races when you're concentrating. And before I knew it, the day was over. I stopped outside Logan's office and tried the handle, locked. I knocked. Logan, you coming home? I still have work. Go ahead without me, he answered, breathless between words. I woke to an empty bed. On my phone was a WhatsApp he'd sent at 3 a.m. Wrapped up too late. Didn't want to wake you. Crashed at the office. It was so ridiculous I laughed. Worried about disturbing me. More like drunk on another woman's perfume. Today was my follow-up at the hospital. I got ready and left early. After telling the doctor I was done trying to conceive, I quit the herbs and finished the final exam. Stepping out of the elevator, I spotted Logan, his mother Dorothy, and Chloe together. What are they doing here? I ducked into the stairwell, craned out, and watched. The elevator doors closed. I started climbing, racing it floor by floor. When I reached the 6th-story landing and peeked out, Logan was steadying Chloe by the elbow. I leaned against the wall, sucking wind, phone already up to record. Trailing them, I saw the trio walk straight into the OBGYN ward, and the truth slammed into me. Logan, his mistress, and their baby, to be, all on my payroll, spending my money with impunity. I even signed Chloe's salary every month. In his eyes, I must be the world-class fool. I stood at the corridor window, gulping air until my pulse stopped roaring. I couldn't wait another second. Another breath in Logan's presence felt like suffocation. I sat in the living room a long time before Logan finally hurried in. What's up, Natalie? You texted me to come home right away. He toed off his shoes as he spoke. Logan, just sign. I'm exhausted. What are you talking about? Then take a few days off, he said, smiling. Moving to sit beside me, I picked up the divorce petition from the coffee table, shoved it into his hand, then pulled a pen from my bag. What is this? Why divorce? Natalie, what did I do? I'll fix it, okay? Panic cracked his voice. He grabbed my wrist before I could offer the pen. Still playing dumb? I spun to face him. Playing dumb about what? He kept the mask on. I slapped the evidence I'd spent days gathering onto the table. Stop the act. It's nauseating. One glance, and the color drained from his face. Natalie, it's all fake. I love you. Natalie, I'm not signing. So when you told her, Natalie can't give me kids, so I'll bring my baby home for her to raise. That was fake too? You repulse me. Logan, I let the contempt show. He actually dropped to his knees. Natalie, it isn't like that. I just wanted a child. I don't love her. It's you I love. I can't lose you. The words sounded like a bad joke. He wanted a baby, so he had one with someone else. What about me? Suit yourself. Refuse to sign and we'll go to court. I lifted the suitcase I'd already packed and walked out without another word. I sank into the tub until water covered my ears, as if it could cut me off from the world. When I finally came up gasping, I called my parents. I told them everything and said I was filing for divorce. They were quiet for a long beat, then sighed together. You've had it rough, sweetheart. If leaving is what you need, we've got your back, always. All the tears I'd swallowed for months burst free. I tried to speak, but only managed a choked sound. I whimpered a goodbye, and hung up. My phone buzzed nonstop, Logan's apologies flooding in. I blocked him and tossed the phone onto the bed. I settled by the floor-to-ceiling window, watching Los Angeles's evening traffic crawl below. 7 years ago, Logan and I were just two kids starting a company. My parents hated the idea of me marrying him. They'd raised their only daughter like a princess and expected someone with means, not a broke dreamer. People in love never heed their parents' warnings. Back then I fancied myself a warrior for romance. I snatched the household registry and eloped with Logan, convinced we'd prove them wrong. I knew salaries alone would never fund the life I wanted, so I pushed Logan to quit his job. We launched Sterling Tech, but the early days were brutal. Every cent we had was bleeding out while revenue flatlined. One night, near tears, I asked him, what happens when we're flat broke? Logan chuckled and folded me into his arms. Relax, baby. Your husband won't let you live in poverty. For weeks he practically lived at the studio, crawling through one boozy client dinner after another until he finally landed a blockbuster contract. That deal flipped our life right side up. With the first check he bought the house we still live in. He insisted the deed carry only my name. This house is your safety net forever, he told me then. I screwed up, dragging you from a mansion to a half basement. Now it's fixed. This place belongs to Natalie and Logan. No one else. The Logan of 5 years ago bought me a home out of guilt for that basement. The Logan of 5 years later fathered a child with someone else out of guilt for the miscarriage he caused. I was reviewing the project file with Ryan when Chloe's text arrived. When I saw the sender, I frowned and asked Ryan to step out. He caught a glimpse of my screen, lips parting as if to speak, but I was already grabbing my bag and leaving the office. Downstairs in the cafe, Chloe was waiting in a private booth. An ultrasound printout lay on the table. I glanced at it and quietly switched on the recorder I'd prepared. Ms. Vance, I'm pregnant. She set down her juice, unruffled. Congratulations, I said. Aren't you curious who the father is? That's your private business. If you need maternity leave, I'll approve it. I nudged the recorder closer, making sure it caught every syllable. The father is Logan. She delivered the line with steel in her voice. Ms. Vance, be smart, divorce him fast, or this gets ugly. Ugly for you, maybe. Unmarried and showing already. I leaned back, just as calm. According to my lawyer, Chloe's family is drowning in debt. She needs money far more urgently than I do, which means she's the one in a hurry to become Mrs. Carter. You flushed. She lifted the juice as if to fling it. Save it. I don't want that cheap stuff on me. Tell you what, I'll be generous. Get Logan to sign the divorce petition and I'm gone tomorrow. You can be Mrs. Carter the day after. Seriously? She lowered the glass. Suspicious. Why would I lie? Chloe left the booth and called Logan. Whatever she said. He sprinted over, still catching his breath as he clutched her hand. Are you okay? I'm fine. Ms. Vance didn't touch me. She lifted his hand like a trophy. She agreed to divorce you. Signed quickly. You promised you'd marry me the moment she signed. Chloe pressed. Logan's face froze. Yeah. I couldn't help laughing. Same old snake. Promising everything to everyone. Sign it. Ignoring me. Chloe shoved a pen into his fingers. He hesitated, reading the petition line by line. Quit squinting. My lawyer drafted it. You're the at-fault party, so I keep most assets. You keep less. I funded Sterling Tech. It's mine. Your 15% sweat equity stake stays yours. I spoke without emotion. He nodded but still didn't write. Chloe lost patience. You don't want the divorce? She raised a fist over her belly. Fine. If its own father doesn't want it, there's no point letting it live. Logan grabbed her wrist. I'll sign. Just don't hurt the baby. Mission accomplished. I walked straight to the Los Angeles City Clerk's office and filed the papers. I thought the saga was over. Then Dorothy barged in with Logan on her heels. The moment I opened the door, I wanted to slam it shut, but Logan muscled his way inside. Dorothy set down her armful of gift bags, rubbing her hands. We're here to apologize. Natalie, couples squabble. No need for a real divorce. While the cooling-off period is still on, pulling the papers is the sensible thing, she chirped. My father, who'd never liked Logan, wore a face of ice. The kids have settled everything. Drop it. Logan, get on your knees. Dorothy barked at her son. He only made the mistake every man makes. They can still be happy. Plus, Natalie gets a grandchild without enduring pregnancy. What a bargain. She giggled. Right, Nat. You're over 30 and can't carry a baby. Who'll marry you if you divorce? Logan chimed in. I hadn't expected him to weaponize my infertility. Get out. I'd rather die alone than spend another second with you. Looking at you makes me sick. I hurled a cup. He ducked and retreated until my father shoved Dorothy out the door. I scooped up her gift bags and pitched them into the corridor. Take your junk and stay gone. His desperation told me this wasn't finished, so I warned building security never to let either of them pass the gate. The next few days passed in eerie quiet. Quiet enough that I almost believed he'd surrendered. Then the rumors started inside Sterling Tech. Natalie had cheated, so Logan dumped her. Walking the halls, I felt stares and whispers from neighboring offices. That's her, slept with her subordinate. Yeah. And her poor husband left her the company. What a waste of a good man. I knew Logan was behind it, but I kept my head down and worked. Someone uploaded a clipped video to social media. It went viral alongside the week's trending scandals. My feed's filled with curses and revenge porn rumors. At her age, bet she trades promotions for pillow talk. Her husband's the victim, gave her everything, and she stabbed him in the back. Nice guys always finish last. Huh, I clicked play on the clip. Whoever shot it had framed it perfectly. Ordinary conversation. A file changing hands, yet it looked like we were kissing, like I was stroking his fingers on purpose. The other person in the frame was Ryan. Ironically, that conversation caught on video was the moment he warned me to watch out for Chloe. He was convinced she'd set her sights on Logan. Once the footage hit the internet, Ryan was dragged into the same sewer of rumors. I'd planned to let the storm build a little longer, but I couldn't let an innocent bystander drown because of me. I pulled the security camera feed from that day and called the police to report the malicious smear campaign. A potted plant blocked the camera, so the shooter's face never appeared in full, but the timestamp showed only Logan lingering in that hallway. The detectives moved fast. Within hours, they traced the upload IP. It belonged to Chloe. Following that thread, I stumbled onto her Instagram page. She was moonlighting as a relationship influencer. Post after post chronicled her romance with Logan. Every gift he gave her, every Venmo transfer, all of it meticulously cataloged. It was almost funny. Thanks to her oversharing, I could claw back a fortune, all of it marital property, half mine by law. I screen grabbed her entire feed, combined it with the cheating evidence and the defamation files, turned the mountain into a 200-page PDF. Pictures, receipts, and a blow-by-blow timeline. From the first day Logan and I met, through our wedding, the early startup struggles, the eventual success, the miscarriage that left me unable to conceive, while he went off to make a baby with someone else. Every sentence was the plain, unvarnished truth. 10 minutes after I uploaded it, the file had 400,000 hits. The comment section flipped overnight. Suddenly everyone was heartbroken for me. Netizens sharpened their claws and swarmed Chloe's Instagram. Her carefully curated persona disintegrated in real time. Old followers flooded her latest posts. Damn, I used to envy you for that. A perfect boyfriend. Turns out you were just shoplifting someone else's husband. You two really deserve each other. Cheating scum and home-wrecking witch. Locked together forever. Great. Now which company's gonna risk hiring a pretty intern again? The backlash was too much. Within 10 minutes Chloe deleted her account. Then my lawyer emailed fresh intel. The address Logan kept ordering rides to was a condo he'd secretly bought for Chloe in Santa Monica. To keep me in the dark, the deed deliberately omitted his name. I snorted. How noble. Buying love nests for every girlfriend. I combed his bank statements. No huge withdrawals showed up. So where had the cash come from? I knew every card he carried. The only pile left unaccounted for was the company account. I checked the purchase date and pulled the corresponding P.L. statements for those months. I was still digging when my phone buzzed. Logan. Natalie, do you have to be this ruthless? His voice seethed through the speaker. Ruthless. I'm not the one who turned this into a cage match. I put him on speaker and aimed a voice recorder at the mic while I thumbed through the last 2 years of ledgers. You forced my hand. Sterling Tech is my life. What gives you the right to yank it away with one smug line about, your money started it? You laid on a sofa for 2 years while I paid every bill. And this is the thanks I get. You trying to bury me? Bitterness dripped from every syllable. Hearing it chilled me. Back then he'd begged me to stay home. Now I'd supposedly been living off his charity. Have you no shame? Without my seed money there wouldn't even be a company. Get off your high horse. That $5 million contract. My dad pulled strings to hand it to you. Did you really think a 6-person studio lands a deal like that on charm alone? Silence swallowed the line. Logan had always believed his own hype. Until now. I finished auditing every statement. Nothing seemed off. But I knew Logan. If he wanted something buried, he buried it deep. Realizing I was out of my depth, I used a sham personnel reshuffle as cover and hired a forensic audit team at top dollar. Money well spent. They uncovered bogus projects Logan had conjured out of thin air and funneled $8 million in company funds straight to his mother's account. That little love nest for Chloe. An 80 square meter condo. For himself he'd snagged a mini estate in Orange County. And he still came home every night to our 100 square meter duplex. How self-sacrificing. I bundled the evidence, couriered it to my attorney, and walked into the police station to file a criminal complaint for embezzlement. While I treated myself to a short Maldives break, news arrived. Logan had been locked up. Between the revenge porn rumors and the embezzlement, both he and Chloe earned 10-day detention stints. But the financial hole was deeper. Even if Logan sold everything he owned, he couldn't fill it. He told Chloe to flip the condo so he could plug the gap. She refused. Logan was finished. That apartment was the only prize she could still claim. Their fight turned physical. physical. Logan shoved her. Chloe miscarried. She turned on him overnight, filing charges for assault and rape. Dorothy sold the Orange County estate and paid Chloe to drop the case. In the end, Logan drew 15 years, malicious defamation plus embezzlement, a straight felony count. Chloe's mistress gate exploded across social media. Alumni and students petitioned her university. 1 month before graduation, she received her expulsion notice. When I flew back from the islands, I visited Logan one last time. I asked if he had any regrets. He only said, "Yeah. I regret leaving you enough rope to hang me with." Thanks for listening to today's story. If you liked it, hit like and share it with friends. We can't wait to read your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.